Alrighty, 1998 Ford Ranger 3.0 liter V6 manual with the manual transmission, 4-wheel drive. So I'm gonna call this 1A. Part 1, you saw me remove the differential cover. So 1A, this is it, the cover off, and I'm just going to point out a couple things I noticed for myself for later future reference. Right here, and here, this is the bottom of the cover. Obviously this is the gear side. When you flipped it over, you can see, get it in focus. Interesting enough, if I had a leak, this is what 2.5 gallons is, 2.5 quarts is supposed to look like. And you can see feel the, let me see, that, yeah, the top half. So the top half, yeah, I'm sorry, you're a little confused. The top half is where no fluid would get into, or you could say it's exposed to the air. And the bottom half is where all the oil has been sitting. So very interesting. And also I took some 320 and I just took off all the residue that was on there when I do put the gasket on. Which the gasket I will be using is this Velcro gasket. What's that say? RDS 55393. And that is the actual gasket. When I go into 1B or part 2, I'll show the gasket being mated up on there. And I went ahead and cleaned up the hardware. But for you guys out there, if you look this up, you might know in the comments, this is the axle tag. Then right to the very left of that, 75 is 10, 75, 1J, 13, and then on top is S372W. I'm sure somebody in the comments might comment what all that means. I could probably look it up in the manual. And also in the comments, see that rubber? It's like these rubber tips on the end. And also, it's either through the rubber tips or cover up the threading, or they just could be worn out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on the top portion, and not on the bottom, because that could be where it's being exposed to the elements, and that could just be why it might have been leaking in the first place. So we'll find out, and if not, I'll go get another differential cover if this does not indeed seal properly, because I'm just going to go straight putting the gasket actually on and torquing to 33 foot-pounds as prescribed in the manual. So with it off, this is what I cleaned up this cover because I'm going to prepare it to for prime and some paint it. I just figured, hey, hopefully I will never have to take it off and it'll be good for another 26 years. So I'm using bug and tar remover right there, and I'm just going to wipe it down some more, get any other contaminants off. I'm doing this all one-handed. And then I'll go ahead and throw some primer on there. Oops. I'd use Dawn dish soap and parts cleaner and let this thing sit in a little tub for a little bit prior to this last step. And I do that a lot with a lot of my parts. I'll use like a Dawn dish soap, a little bit of water. You know, it's a really good degreaser, homemade degreaser. And like I said, carb choke cleaner, parts cleaner, brake cleaner, whatever you got, and just to get to clean up the parts and hopefully give the paint something to stick to. Because all you're really trying to do is get paint to stick to it. I'm going to be using this Differential get an angle on that Differential automotive primer filler. I've been using this stuff for a while. I use Rustoleum fillable sander stuff too, fillable sander primer. All right, so shake it up for this quick bit here. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a quick couple coats. I'm not gonna film it all. I'm just gonna show like 2 coats on it, and then when I do come back, I'll probably do a video of me painting it. But time's kicking on, and I got to get this on. I got to get on the road. But we'll see what we get. But for all intents and purposes, I just wanted to point out those little details, because anybody can watch paint dry, right? All right, so let me see if I can take this off one-handed or one-footed. All right. Alright. And if I didn't get all the grease off, what will happen is this will bubble up. That's what will happen here. Alright, so that's the first coat. I'll let that dry for about 5 minutes. Humidity's pretty high right now. And I'll come back through. I'll do a couple other coats on there and I'll paint it. Matter of fact, next time you see it, it'll be painted and be going on the truck. Alright.